Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Fig Quad 4 here, and I'm actually in my creative test world, as you can see by the fact that I'm floating. Woo! And I've been working on something that I wanted to show you. It's down here. There it is. There it is. There it is. Yeah. Been working on all this nonsense. Yeah. So. Let's see if I can walk backwards here. Basically, what's going on is I'm a little behind on HermitCraft. I just recently discovered that probably like a year ago now, I don't know, ZombieCleo made... What was it, ZombieCleo? I don't want to get them mixed up because she made a video about how they're all different. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's ZombieCleo made an escape room in Minecraft. And I saw a couple of the other people play it, and it was really cool. I've been to a couple of escape rooms in my life, in real life, and they were pretty fun. And ever since I went to the first one, I liked the idea of creating one. And so I'd done some research, I came up with some ideas, wrote stuff down, thought about it. But anyway, now I never thought about doing it in Minecraft, but now that she's done that, I mean, now that I know that she's done that because it's so long ago, now I want to do it. So I'm in the creative world. That's just structure, just nonsense. This over here is the stuff for today. But yeah, I wanted to experiment and then see what I come up with, and then see what I can make, combine these ideas into something on the FigCraft server. So right now, these are just little bits, just to showcase some of the ideas I've had of different things that you could do. I'm going to combine them in interesting ways, and maybe I thought this could inspire anyone else who might want to make one of these as well. So that's enough rambling. Let's go ahead and get started. This is the very basic thing. Everyone should know about this. This is an item frame. You have an item in here. If you don't have an item in there, it outputs no signal. Then when somebody puts something in here, bam, it starts out at one redstone signal. So you can have something that only happens when it's at the right signal. There are ways to hook up the redstone for that. And as you turn it, you can see the lights turning on, and when it's... Yeah. This is default slanted slightly. So when it's straight up and down, that's the fullest it can be turned around before coming around full circle. So now that's all the lights are on. If I turn it one more time, it'll go down to one light. Boop. So that's a pretty easy thing to do. If you see ZombieCleo's escape room, that's definitely there. And I'll link to her video in the description so you guys can go watch it if you want. And then you can watch other hermits do the escape room. Joe Hills did it by himself. He did a pretty good job. Then there was one where False Symmetry and... Stress Monster. Sorry, I'm blanking on names and stuff. But anyway, they went through and did it. And I guess there was one where Exazuma and someone else did it. Not sure. I didn't see that one. But anyway, here's Cauldron Comparator. So this is a similar thing. Comparators, even through a block, can read the state of any sort of container or a couple different objects. So this here... a cauldron starts, you put water in it. Let's see, I should really get out a bucket and bottles. And I'm gonna put myself in well, I guess game rules or game, wow, I can't type, survival. Just, I don't know if that'll change anything. Anyway, if you take out all the water, nothing. You fill it up, boom, 3 lights. If I had more lights, there would be nothing. But you take the bottles of water out. Oh, my inventory's full. Anyway, you take the bottles of water out of there, and it goes down. Boop. And the third one, holds 3 bottles of water, so it's completely empty, and you'd have to refill it with water. And you can actually use... Can I drop something? No, I have too much stuff in my inventory. I should have... Yeah. Anyway, you can use the water bottles to fill it back up. So you could use this as part of a puzzle where someone needs to get the cauldrons to the right level, whatever. Here's a brewing stand. You got a comparator here behind this block, and this does much the same thing, but this, if you take out one potion, each potion is 3 lights. So you can see it's completely out. If you put one of those back in there, it'll fill up 3 lights. And this works with bottles of water too. It doesn't have to be a potion, as you can see there. But yeah, there we go. So you could have something with brewing stands. I was imagining if you had some sort of dungeon setup, and in it you had cauldrons with water, you know, you got the water bottles from them, and used them in the brewing stands, did stuff like that, then yeah, you could have a pretty interesting thematic, you know, dungeon type thing where these are different components of the puzzle. Moving on, here's the book placement. Now, this is something from a mod. This is Bibliocraft. It adds bookcases, and it adds this redstone book. So if I take this out of here, all these are off. But if you put this in different slots, the first slot is 0, so it'll do no lamps. But if I move this over, boom, 1, and it goes all the way up to, you know, I'm not going to say the number because I don't want to get it wrong, but 16 or something. Anyway, I keep forgetting I'm not in creative when I'm trying to jump and fly. But if you have it in the very last slot, it'll do all of these lights, and you can put it anywhere in between to get different amounts of lights. You can see them off to the left here. So that would be pretty neat. Having a book that, you know, you find it, you take it off a shelf. In real escape rooms, there's a lot of books on shelves, and you move them, and maybe they open a door, or maybe they have information in them, or maybe, you know, anything. You move them around. So it'd be neat to be able to have some clue of, like, put this in this slot or whatever. So different things you could do with that. This is a hidden item. This is different because this is also added by Bibliocraft. You take this book out, and when you open it, boom, you can add a title, description, whatever, and save it, but you can put items inside of here. So you can have, you know, okay, you have to click specifically, I guess, but yeah, so this is holding an observer inside of it, and then you can put that on the shelf so people could find this book, look inside of it, and find an item that they need to progress, which would be pretty neat. This next idea is the idea of having something that's designed for 2 people. And this is a pretty boring example, I suppose, but cause and effect. So in one room, somebody could be over here flicking levers. They don't know what they do. And then the other player would need to be in the other room and saying, oh, that one did this, you know, turns on these lights, because the other player can't see it. So it's just having one room with a cause, another room with an effect is a pretty neat way to make sure that, you know, teamwork, people playing together, etc. Escape rooms, a lot of times, will have clues in one room and the place to plug in the clues in another room. So often, you know, you're split between a couple connected rooms, and some players will be in one room, some players will be in the other room, and you'll just be kind of yelling through the doorway like, hey, it's, you know, they're like, hey, I need the purple star, and they're like, okay, they're looking at the little sheet, and they're like, that means A, and they're like, okay, purple star's A, boom, they punch it into, you know, whatever it is, and they work together. So that's a pretty cool thing. Moving on, this is a floor clue. Obviously, this wouldn't just pop up. You'd need to do something else, like one of these things to instigate it, but initiate it, whatever the word is. But anyway, I thought it'd be cool if you had a floor of some sort that changed once something happened. Boom! All of a sudden, you know, it lights up, and it has some sort of message or symbol or some sort of clue. In this case, I just have an arrow pointing that way because that's the way we're going. You turn off the lever, it goes away. Boom. Pretty simple. I just thought it'd be neat. And following that idea, here's a ceiling clue. It's just a normal room. You flick the lever, you got sticky pistons pushing down. It's the letter A, and maybe that's not somehow. Over here, this is all about asymmetry. I thought it'd be neat if you had a room where it's like, okay, what's going on here. Obviously, there's a bucket here. I'm supposed to do something with water. I already had a bucket. Let's see. This skips every other one, and this one has these two. So what if I moved this over here, and it opens, you know, an empty chest. Let's put something in there just to... Maybe you get some heads. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Treasure. Put that back. Interesting. It goes back in the same position you took it out. So, yeah. Just thought that would be cool. Neat little thing. And, you know, obviously if you move the water back, it would close the thing again. Over here, this is something, it says make a hoe. I thought it'd be interesting if, while you're going around the room, or the house, or whatever you're stuck in, there's different hidden items. Maybe one could be in that book we saw earlier, that sort of thing. And when you collect all of these hidden items, you're able to craft something. So probably would need a crafting table here. Didn't really think about that, but you know, you put one in the place if you're going to do this sort of thing. Anyway, and it allows you, these materials here you may have noticed were enough for me to craft a hoe. And then if I, you know, ideally there would be some sort of pattern or something indicating that you should hoe there, or maybe it would be a path with one spot missing and you'd use a shovel instead and then do this. But yeah, once you do that, it just turns on the light, does, you know, whatever else you want it to do. And this is pretty basic. You just have this dirt block, you've probably seen this before, an observer coming off of it and feeding this piston. It's pushing over here. There's redstone torch under here, which powers this block, powers the block underneath the lamp. So very basic, and you know, if that goes away, boom, that goes away too, and you can just bring it back, go away. I thought you could jump on. I could put that down. I'll do it. Anyway, so that's that idea. Just the idea of finding pieces and then crafting something out of them to move forward. I thought would be a cool little thing. Now this is an idea for a slider puzzle, and this one doesn't really work, didn't pan out, but I thought I'd just mention it just because it was, you know, an interesting idea. I don't know if you've ever seen those slider puzzles. You do, you know, little physical things. You slide the pieces around. So you'd slide this over here, you'd slide. So there's always a gap somewhere, and there's a picture you're trying to get, and you're trying to slide the things around. And so I thought that'd be neat if there were these pistons where, you know, this would push those over there. It's kind of a neat idea, but the problem with it is that, well, firstly, I messed it up. I should have put immovable things behind these pistons so they couldn't push each other out of the way. So it's kind of broken in that way. But even if it wasn't broken like that, it doesn't work because normally in the actual thing, you're moving this piece to here. But here, if this piston was doing what it's supposed to, it'd be pushing both of these. And there's no way... where did I have the gap? I had the gap... Because you always have, you know, a hole. So there's a hole in the picture somewhere. It's obviously one of the blue ones. So not really sure. But how do you get this separated from this if you can't move just this? There's this piston that pushes both of them. And, you know, maybe it's a solvable puzzle, which is why I mention it, you know, but it doesn't seem like it. I didn't put a lot of thought into it. I just started building this, and then I thought, oh, that doesn't work like I thought it would. But still, it would be kind of neat if there's some way of having a picture that you formed, and then that did something. I also wasn't sure how doing this would create redstone. Like, how would you detect whether things were in the right spot? And I don't really have a solution for that. So this was just an idea. Didn't really work out. But yeah, moving on. This one, I think this was kind of cool. I don't know how easy it would be for people to figure out. So ZombieCleo had one where there was a knight, and you just moved wherever the knight could go. There were chests under the carpet. Kind of a neat little thing. So this is not so original, but this is take out the king. So you can see here's a chessboard that's empty, and over here I've created all these chess pieces. So the black pieces have the leather armor, the white pieces have the iron armor, and then all the pawns have pumpkins. I use the Steve head to be the player, you know, the king, because it's like the player. Creeper is the queen. The bishops are skeletons. The knights are wither skulls, skeletons, and the zombies are the rooks. So, you know, this looks kind of cluttered though. But it says take out the king, so, you know, if I look at this situation, I can see that's their bishop. My king is here, not really in any danger. And their king, though, is right there, and I have a knight. One of my knights is right here and could easily boop, 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 and go there. So, the idea I had with this one, again, not sure if it works great, is you would step on where the knight is, and then you'd step on where the king is, and it would... This is just redstone ore, which then feeds into observers that go down there, and stuff goes on below, and it opens that door. And then you climb up there and go through the door. So, this just sort of showcases the idea of having redstone ore. You step on it, you can cover it with a carpet so it's hidden, but once you step on it, you can have it do stuff. This, I have it to where you need to activate both of these in order for that to open. So it's just an AND gate below there. It's pretty basic redstone logic. Yeah, I don't know. I put a lot more time into this than, you know, some of these took longer than they needed to, and they didn't have a lot to show for it. This one, shoot to open. So this is a very basic idea. I'm not sure how commands work. Give bow. Okay. Give Figgy a bow. Okay, perfect. Give Fig arrow? Okay. Boom. So there's a pressure plate over there. If you hit it with the arrow, it will activate the pressure plate, which is a cool thing. Didn't know you could do that. And then it just turns on a light and opens this door for me. Ba-bang. This next one is a two-person thing. I think I'm going to switch back to creative at this point. Game mode. That would have been easier if I just typed it. Anyway, I'm going to clear all my stuff because too much junk. 313 items. This was all full of stuff. Okay, so this is a maze. The idea is this is a two-player thing. This person will be trying to go through the maze, but they can't without the help of this person. This is the control room. This person can't see, and I've toyed with the idea of maybe they can see what's going on. Maybe they've got more, you know, information going to them. Maybe there's pressure plates at various points or buttons or levers or something the player can hit to light up. There would be like a little map here of the maze, and it would light up where the player is inside the maze, so it could give some feedback, but they wouldn't see where they are all the time. They would just see, you know, a mini map of it, and wherever the player was able to activate a light. Things like that. Just toyed with different ideas, but you know, the very basic idea of this is having a maze that one player is in and a room that another player is in, and without working together they can't get through the maze and do whatever they need to do. So this, I just have these levers hooked up to various switches. So there's doors all throughout this maze. So the player, well, firstly, they can't even get in right now. And I don't actually know the solution to this maze. Okay. I thought it was... Can't even get the door open. So yeah, this could be frustrating. It's trial and error right now. I'm just flying back and forth. There we go. Theoretically, if you had another player, it would be a lot less frustrating probably. But also it would be nice if there's some sort of feedback on what it did or something like that. As it is, I just hooked up all the doors with redstone, and then I connected them randomly, and then also connected some of the levers to pistons that push blocks in front of other ones. So this one, this feed tape comes from lever 3. But it won't go through, it'll do some of the doors over here, but it won't go through to that door and the entrance unless you have also this piston powered, which comes from feed tape. Where is it? Does it come from this thing? Come from 1. So you need to have, so I could have, what? Did I say 3? Was that the one? No. 2. Wait, 1? Oh, okay, but you need to have this one 4 on to allow this piston to push this block down so that the power from lever 1 gets through to power this piston to allow the power from 3 to get through. So you can see they interact in weird ways. I didn't really think it out. It was just sort of random. So it's just this complicated mess of, you know, you come to a door. I'm going through and I'm like, hey, I don't know the solution to this maze. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. Okay, I actually know this one. And apparently, whatever state those levers are in right now is perfect for just getting out of the maze. Which, okay. But let's say they don't go through that, you know. Oh, here's a door. Wow. Okay. So they'll open this door and they're flipping all the levers. They're trying to figure out something that I'm not sure if it's right. It's frustrating. I don't have some of the doors have things. They're dummy doors. So no matter how they flip the levers, this door will never open. And I'm not sure if that would just be too frustrating or not. So some of them open, some of them don't. That's that basic idea. Now this was the last idea I had, and then as I was building it, I guess at some point somehow I came up with this thing, and this kind of got away from me. In the old Pokemon games, there were always these parts I really liked, and I think Chip's Challenge was a computer game that did this. Just the idea of having ice and having things scoot around on the ice, and there's spots you're trying to get to, and normally there's like rocks blocking it, and so you slide into a rock, then you slide off to the side. Those kind of puzzles were always really fun for me for some reason. I really enjoyed them. What do I have this labeled as? Armor stand sliding. So in this one, that was the basic idea, is having these slime blocks pushed by pistons, pushing armor stands into the holes. And you know what? Now that I think of it, I never actually hooked up the holes to anything. These holes have pressure plates in them, and I never hooked them up. I was going to hook it up to open a door or do a jingle or turn on a light or something, and I just forgot. So, but anyway, you get the idea. You're trying to get the armor stands down there. If I give myself some armor stands, boom, and oops. You want the you want this one. I have, you know, the mods, so there's another one, but this vanilla armor stands coming into this puzzle, they would, you know, you would give the player a bunch of armor stands, and then they'd be able to play with them. So the idea is there's sort of 3 layers of this. There's this top layer where the player is. These pistons, or these levers, there's one in each corner. This will activate all of the pistons that face that way. So you can see that bottom row of pistons all extended. If there are armor stands in front of them, they would have been pushed. And on the second layer, if there are any pistons facing that way, they get pushed as well. So there's one of these for each of the directions, and then you can just click your armor stand in here. It'll drop it down, and then let's say I wanted to activate that one. I'm going to do this. Boop, it pushed it. So it fell through, you know, I drop it through this hole, this pushes it out that hole, and then, oh, I wanted these to be buttons. They were temporarily levers, so I could test to make sure they actually interacted correctly and all that kind of stuff. Made sure they worked. And the redstone could get to all of the things, but they're supposed to be buttons. Okay. Where's my armor stand? Okay, my armor stand's there. I need to get the armor stand into one of those holes. Now, it only pushes that way. It'll fly that way. There's no hole. So, obviously, that one I did wrong. But let's say I want to get to this hole. Where could I launch from? I could launch from this here. Now, if I drop an armor stand here, it'll fall all the way down there, which is kind of nice. I hit the button, and boom! It goes over it. It's too much. Okay, so let's try to go from the other side. I want an armor stand to be here. It looks like if I put one here, and then power... And this is part of it. I think it would be cool if there are 2 people, because one person could be doing this and telling the other person, hey, I'm going to need you to power this one. So I don't know if you could see that, but all those pistons pushed, that one fell down there. So now if I was to push that armor stand, boop, right in the hole. So I've just activated one of the pressure plates, and if they were all hooked up to something, you'd have to figure out where to drop and what to push 4 different armor stands into the right spots. I think this is fun. I don't know if anyone else would think it's fun. It's just something that for some reason really I like. So let's push this one here. That's there, and then... Oh, that's too far. Okay, that one's not right. Can we do it from here? Is it even possible to get one here? Yeah. If I do this... Okay. Alright. Okay, so now it's down there. And now if I push this one... And I have these blocks here just so you don't accidentally fall in, because that would be really annoying. Boom! Got that one. I hope I'm not boring you, but I'm going to just finish this just because I started it and it's fun. I like it. This one obviously has to come from over here because there's no other way. So how do I get it down there? I get it in here. Push that one. Okay. Oh, wait. What? I just got it in the same hole I had another one in. So that one was a waste of my time. I'm not sure why I did that one again. This one can go from here. Maybe I need it to be here-ish. And if that's the case, then I need it to be... That won't work. Aha! Ah. What just happened? Why did that armor stand... Why is it down there and moving? What? Okay, I think I still got that one where I wanted it to go, right? Yeah, okay, so there I got 3 of the holes filled. I need 1 more, which is over here. Now I know that even though that's pointing right at it, that'll just fly right over it. So it's got to be either that one over there or the one over that way. So how do I get this here? I put this here. It fell down there, and then bada bing! So, yeah, again, I don't know if anyone else finds this interesting, but I do. I thought it was fun doing it even just now, even though I built it. And I kind of roughly know the answers. It was still fun to figure it out. I think it'd be really cool and fun. I enjoy it. And I put it in this giant glass cage with the idea that I could put, walkways around the outside so you could see from different angles and come, stairs coming down and looking around. Kind of like what I did with this chess dealy bobber here. I had it so you can climb up here and look so that you can get a different perspective. And this glass is actually clear glass from Tinker's Construct mod. So it's really cool stuff. You can see through it way better than normal glass. So you could get different angles of the puzzle. And I think that's great because you don't want to limit someone's view of it. I can see the whole picture because I was building it. I'm in creative, I'm flying around, I can see everything. But once I put walls around it, like this maze, you're inside this maze, you can't see anything. And everything's just going to be, bigger to you, overwhelming. It's like, oh, where, ooh. Okay. Where do you go? Where's the solution? You see how much more confusing this is inside of it than when you're outside of it. Once you put the balls, yep. I didn't even know where I was. I was down there. Okay. Anyway, once you put the walls around, it gets confusing. So I just thought in some of these, there's nothing about this that I'm hiding from the player. They can see the redstone if they want to see it, if they understand redstone at all. I mean, this is very basic redstone. The hardest part was wiring up the different pistons and stuff here without having it, cross and interact in bad ways and all that kind of stuff. And I was also worried about armor stands going over redstone, but I tried it and armor stand going over some redstone. Like here, this one I think would push over that redstone and it won't destroy it. See? Doesn't destroy it, which is pretty cool. And these pistons are actually off the ground because if they were down on the glass there's a glass pane, that this redstone's on. that's what I did at first, but then the slime blocks would catch the glass and move it around, and everything would be wrong. All of my holes kept getting moved around, and I was really confused, so I had to raise it up. So yeah, that's why this thing has to be as tall as it is, so there's space in between the glass and the slime block on top and bottom, so the slime blocks don't touch anything. Theoretically, if you could activate this and then quickly, before it stops, activate this is why I wanted buttons instead of levers, because these would stick together, one of them would pull the other one, and it would mess things up. I don't think either of those matters ever in the corners. Some of these might do the same thing, like these two, and I'm not sure if they're crucial for solving the puzzle or not, but you know, I think it's going to be pretty hard for you to hit this button, run over here, and hit this button in time for it to cause any sort of problem. Anyway, so that was my last idea that I had. So then there's also sound puzzles, and in ZombieCleo she had a sound puzzle. I think it's a neat idea. I haven't messed around with that much, but I just figured I'd mention it at the very end of the video just to say that. So anyway, I hope you liked it. I hope some of this was inspirational or at least entertaining or something. And again, I'll link to that video in the description where she builds it, and I'll probably link to a couple videos where people go through the escape room. And when I build one on the Bibliocraft server, I will let you know. Well, I'll post a video, obviously, so then you'll be able to see it. Should be pretty cool. And just real quick, I guess I should show off something I came up with over. Did I come up with something? I don't know. I didn't come up with this stuff, did I? No, this was all stuff. This is me learning how to make T flip-flop from a mumbo jumbo video. Well, never mind. I came up with something, but I don't remember what it is, or it's not still here. I destroyed it. What was it? It was a super fast timer. Oh, I think I might remember actually. It was, you take a, okay, so you have a server going into, no, you have, no. Let me put this, and you put this, and okay, so I figured it out. Here's the thing I accidentally discovered. Somebody else probably knows about it too, but this observer, you have a hopper feeding into an observer, and it keeps this clock going. So you could put, a door here, and this is going to get annoying. So yeah, but you can see it's just an alternating pulse going back and forth. And the reason for this is the observer is noticing the hopper, which is changing states, because as the observer powers this block, this redstone turns on, powers this block, which stops the hopper from doing, what it does. You apply redstone to a hopper, it stops it from draining or whatever, or I don't know, it stops the hopper. So the hopper, I'm guessing, is switching states right now, going from powered to unpowered, unpowered to powered, and the observer is noticing that, and every time it does, it redoes this. So every time, this is just alternating back and forth, creating this clock, which does that. So I thought that was a neat little thing. I had never seen that before. I don't know if it has any uses, but yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.